Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. For the last few months I've been reading on the full moons and the new moons. It's just a feature of the channel that I like to keep going, and I'll continue with it. Of course, we have the full moon in Aries on October the 13th. We've come off the new moon in Libra. We're heading toward a new moon in Scorpio. But first, the full moon in Aries. Astrology tells me, astrologers tell me that the full moon in Aries is all about very intense, strong emotions. As I understand it, the full moon in Aries forms a square to Pluto, so we're going to be dredging up some really, really heavy stuff. This goes to the core of our individuality, but also our freedom, because emotions come forward when it's a push. It's a push outward. It's a push outward to reunite with the core, the essence of who we are. And of course, when we're doing that, when we're trying to push out it's like in a crowd trying to make your way towards something when everybody is doing the same thing, it can get a little bit heated. So watch for arguments, watch for disagreements with loved ones, watch for also getting angry at what's going on around you, either whether that is in your own home and community environment, things going wrong, overreacting to things as well, or whether that's at the global level. We've got a lot to be angry about, but anger doesn't serve us. It's not a positive emotion, not at all. It doesn't serve us well, and so even though our temptation is to become very angry, again, try and get to that place of calm, trying to develop a cool head, not a hot head, and to really just hold back. Understand the conditions are very intense. They're intense now. They have been intense because we've been getting information. That's what Libra was all, Virgo and Libra. We've come off this period of getting the information with that Virgo new moon, and then with Libra, the scales of justice. And now we're moving into this emotive climate, and it's going to continue as with that new moon in Scorpio as well. So there's an intense couple of months, really intense, as things seem to be coming toward the boil. So be aware of that. Be kind to yourself, because I watched a clip of Billy Connolly, who, as you know, has Parkinson's disease, but he had one message to come forward. He said, really, I think he's 76 now, and he was asked if he was ever going to go back on stage and perform. He said, not at the moment, because his mind's not working as well as it should be. But he did have one parting message, and that was that, laugh as much as you can, because quite simply, laughter, not anger, laughter is good for the health. So find some things, that's some levity in situations. Okay, having said that, I'm going to do a full moon reading. I'm going to go through a series of questions. What have I manifested since the last new moon? Where am I now? What am I becoming conscious of? What is no longer serving me, and how can I release that? And what do I need to be aware of in the next few weeks, now and in the next few weeks? So I'm using my 78 mythical tarot. Tarot of the Legendary. It's a collaboration between artists from across the world. So every single card has been done by an individual artist. So I thought that's appropriate for what is happening now around our emotions. It's all about our own individuality, and it's deep. It's deep stuff, and it can sometimes be painful. Because, in order to bring things to the surface, we've got to have some kind of force that brings things up. And this is what you're seeing now. It's the emotional force that we're seeing. So I'll bring the laptop down. I just want to get to what's at the base of the as a start to the reading, and then I'll bring the laptop down. So our full moon in Aries, Spirit, what are the key messages? As I said, I'll work through a series of questions, manifestations since the new moon in Libra. Where am I now? What do I need to release? What is no longer serving me? And what do I need to be aware of now and in the next few weeks? So what are the key messages here from Spirit? What are the key messages from Spirit for the full moon in Aries? Full moon in Aries, what are the key messages? Full moon in Aries. Okay, base of the pack, the Four of Cups. Disappointment. Disappointment. And, you know, with this card, it's, the Page of Cups, bombshells, news. It's interesting because that card is volatility in itself. The reason I think I went to the Four of Cups, because there's disappointment involved as well. When news comes forward, we may not be reacting to it in the way that we would normally react, and that's because of the full moon in Aries. It's this emotional volatility that we're seeing. So previously, there are spikes, put it this way. There could be spikes in communications. That's why I use the word bombshells, because it's like a series of mini bombs going off. And the Ten of Pentacles, this is around our home and our community, and the Three of Pentacles working within teams. But we are heading toward a new start. All of this pain, all of this dredging things up does bring forward new beginnings. And I've got the King of Wands. So you're being, this is fire energy. You're being called to be called upon to step forward. You are in charge. You are your own boss. So I feel that there is a message here around individuality and the courage to be you. All right, let's bring the laptop down and we'll proceed with our questions. Okay, so the first card, what have you manifested since the new moon? Victory. You've manifested victory, but victory can sometimes be hollow, so let's keep going. Number two, where are you now? You're getting a very good look with this Devil card at what you're chained to. Wow, okay, Pluto, squaring Pluto, lots of deep stuff here. What am I becoming conscious of? Your own power and your own power to manifest. This is an individual and a collective reading. I love these cards. Okay, what is no longer serving me? Or what do I need to let go of? What am I? What should I be surrendering? And we've got the Queen of Wands, and this is, I do feel, speaking up, speaking your own truth. And again, it's interesting because what makes us angry when we're restricted and constricted, we feel that our point of view is not being heard. What do I need to release? Okay, this is an emotional card, the Eight of Cups. This is a walking away card, a loss card. What do you need to release? You need to release loss. Okay, and what do I need to be aware of now and in the next few weeks? We've got the Six of Swords. This is relocating. This is moving on to a calmer, to a more positive environment. So again, there's all this letting go that I'm seeing here, and the Page of Cups. How are we going to do that? It's part of this full moon in Aries process that information is going to come forward, very, very quickly, and we're going to be reacting to that. So individually and collectively, let's go back to this Six of Wands. I'll pull some clarifiers, I think, with... let's have a look here. I think I'll pull some clarifiers with my Arcanum deck. Now the Arcanum deck is a strength deck. So let's pull some clarifiers. Okay, so the Six of Wands. Let's get back to the reading. what are you manifest? What have you manifested since the last full moon? Six of Wands talks about victory, and this is somebody that rides back after the war, rides back as a victor. And really, in this card, it's quite interesting what the artist has done. This is a mouse riding a horse and carrying a wand with a candle on top. Oh, well, actually, it's a quartz crystal on top. So this victory is about the truth. This victory is about seeing the truth. So let's have a look. We'll draw 2 or 3 cards for the Six of Wands. Can we have some clarity, please? What have you manifested since the new moon? What have the new moon in Libra? What have you manifested? So something's wanting to jump out there. The truth. Okay, so this is the Seven of Cups. Illusion, not being able to see clearly, not being able to make a choice. And we've got the Page of Cups bringing forward this information. The Page of Cups is she comes unbidden. It's almost as if this Page of Cups, this news, this surprise comes forward out of the deep murky water to reveal something. So what have you manifested? You manifested the truth with this Knight of Swords. You've not only manifested, you've actually started to take action on the truth. And as a result, you're a victor. But look, the caution here with victory, what have you manifested since the last new moon? The caution here with the victory card is always, always to do so with humbleness, not to let the ego get in the way, because the ego gets in the way when we're all vying for power, when we're all, as I said, in that crowded railway station, that subway, everybody's got the same objective. They're all wanting to move toward the same thing. It's both a collective and can be an unruly mob, but can also be a subway full of individuals, and individuals can cooperate. They don't need to compete. So be a victor. By all means, be a victor. You've earned it. You've brought forward the truth, but also do so with humble gratitude that is where you've got to. Where are you now? Okay, the Devil. Understanding what you're attached to. So bringing forward this truth, and this is the Pluto influence here. It goes fairly deep. The truth can be both a benign truth, but it can also be a bit sticky as well. It can be, as I said, that it's like a bit of a stick there, or spike, I should say. The truth can not always be pleasant, and you're going to actually confront some confusion as well as you try and, play the blame game. There's no blame here, because full moon in Aries, the emotions are going to be around your most closest relationships. What are you attached to and why? And we come back always to the individuality. The full moon in Aries is forcing us to examine our own individuality, but also to express our individuality. So be careful you don't stomp on someone else's expression. Tell me about the Devil card here. Tell me about the Devil card, Spirit. Tell me about the Devil card. Okay, so we have the Nine of Wands. Understanding that the processes that have brought us to this point can have left us a little bit tired, a little bit fatigued. Everybody's got a lot going on. We're all moving in the same direction and we're all getting there in one way or another. But this might be a good time to put some boundaries up, that Nine of Wands is saying. The Ten of Pentacles, for some, the focus is on family money and retirement and having enough. So the Devil, of course, is where you're going to put your focus. Are you going to put it on the worry and the anxiety around money, or are you just going to let go and trust that all will be as it should be? And we've got the Nine of Pentacles. This is our place in the world. This is having enough to be independent. So some of our individuality goes to our attachments. Who are we chained to? The counsel here is not to not to drown in those attachments, but to surrender and release. So, what are you becoming conscious of? The Magician, your own ability to manifest. I've had a lot of feedback, whether it's in various things that I do in relation to the work I do, and one common thread is coming forward, that when we lose sight of our ability to manifest, and I do believe one of the ways we manifest is through gratitude and humbleness, but also letting go of the worry around our earthly concerns, surrendering and releasing. But we'll get to that in the next card. I think what are we becoming conscious of? Our own power, our own ability to manifest. Okay, that's quite deep there for the collective, because it means that we have seen a situation where we felt powerless, and what are we becoming conscious of with this full moon in Aries? Our ability to manifest change. Okay, we're realizing our own power with this Magician card, bringing things into actuality. Very powerful card. All right, so tell me about the Magician. Tell me about the Magician. Okay, so we've got Temperance. Okay, there's a balance aspect to this card. We are manifesting a rebalancing. I love it. I absolutely love it. And the Three of Wands, as a result, there will be expansion. And it's not a commercial expansion. It's actually an expansion of our connection to spirit. And the Knight of Pentacles. Part of this rebalancing is expressing courage and expressing the truth. I've got two Knights here. So for the collective and the individual, however this is resonating for you, let's look at number 4. What is no longer serving you? Staying quiet on what you see, not expressing your truth. Okay, so part of this emotional push is to allow you to express your truth. It's getting inspired again about speaking your truth. So it's like we're being shaken awake, and I think that the full moon in Aries, with this this volatility, this dredging up, this emotional, the emotions that are coming forward, I do believe this is not a negative thing. It's all part of the learning. So tell me about this Queen of Wands. What is no longer serving me? What is no longer serving me? What is no longer serving me? Okay, Six of Wands. I have to laugh at the irony of these cards sometimes. We've manifested a victory, but it's also come as what is no longer serving me. And I do feel that the victory is, what do we have to remember when we're in that crowded subway? We actually have to remember the collective interests. We have to remember that we're walking side by side, shoulder to shoulder, and we have to be humble. The Two of Wands, what is no longer serving me? The time for taking action is now. Apathy, we've seen where apathy gets us. This is, as I said, we're being shaken awake. And we've got the closing down of one cycle, the opening up of another. What is no longer serving you? As much as we're learning about individuality, we're also learning about cooperation as well. And some of that for the collective is cooperation across the world. So I like to say that what is going on for you individually can be replicated in some sense to what is going on for the collective. Now, how can you release and let go? This is a walking away. This is letting go of the emotions, because cups are all about feelings and emotions. Letting go of predetermined outcomes. Letting go of, wanting to know what's going on, wanting to know, will I be, will my money difficulties ease in the future? Release and let go, and let your manifesting energy come forward instead. So a really interesting card. What do I need to release and let go of? This is the card for it, the Eight of Cups. Release, let go, walking away. Okay, that's the lesson. It's pretty simple. Okay, what do I need to... I'm just going to put my phone on autopilot so it doesn't disrupt this reading, and I would have to start again. I don't want that to happen. What can you tell me about the Eight of Cups? How can how can I release and let go? How can I release and let go? Walking away, turning your back, walking away. Also releasing the emotions is what I'm feeling. Tell me about the Eight of Cups, the Eight of Cups. Okay, so we've got the full new beginnings. All right, so it is simply letting go of the old. It's as simple as that. These are completion cycles, letting go of whatever was your downfall, whatever you think was your downfall. This is a pretty powerful time at the moment, individually and collectively. These are old patterns. What do I need to let go of? Old patterns. And here we are, the Queen of Cups, again, coming along with nurturing, supportive energy, but also taking the lid off that cup and showing us what we need to release and let go of. Old patterns. Old patterns. The old is changing. We're at the end of the cycle. We know that, and what we bring in now is very, very important. Letting go of the emotions, letting go of old patterns is what we need to do. Old ways of doing things, old divisions, old recriminations, old blame games. Letting go of all of that. Now, that's not easy. I'm not saying it is, but what happens when we just surrender and let go? What happens when we do that? Just take a moment. Whatever is your biggest worry, what you're holding on to, what's emotionally getting underneath your skin, the negative emotion. What happens when we just let it go? We are in the second, or we are in the now, as Eckhart Tolle would say. But within that moment, we're also in a manifesting moment as well. And so what do I need to be aware of over the next few weeks? I have the Six of Swords, moving away from troubled waters. I think we just got our answer to that card. All right, so let's expand on that. What do I need? What do I need to be aware of right now and in the next few weeks? Letting go in the moment, staying in the moment, letting go. Okay, what do I need to be moving on from the cycles that we're doing that weren't in your best interests? Tell me about the Six of Swords. Spirit, tell me about the Six of Swords. Okay, the Five of Pentacles, moving on from victim status, understanding that we are co-creators with God, Spirit, Lord Buddha, whatever your whatever your spiritual connection is, letting go of that victim status and letting go also of the anger and understanding that you're manifesting your future right now. In some ways, letting go of control. It is in our nature to want to control things. And I go back to the crowded subway. We would want to elbow people out of the way to get to where we're going, particularly if there was a threat. What happens, though, when we all cooperate? When everybody takes a collective responsibility, we actually start to help one another with this Six of Pentacles. At the base of the pack energy right at this moment, we've got this abuse of power, but it's also being illuminated in an incredible way. Not just another person's abuse of power, but your own abuse of power. And we're actually that's coming from the information that came out in September. So whatever occurred in September, you got a crystal clear view. I'm being drawn very much to the heart of this hermit here with this crystal. Whatever view you got in September, whatever information came to you, is absolutely critical to this full moon in Aries. It's what's provoking the emotions. I'm not saying that this is going to be easy. There's a work to be put in. There is always work to be put in. But we've got the King of Wands. This is re-engaging with your own individuality, stepping into your kingly power with the King of Swords, and closing down this cycle. This is the Death card, the ending of the cycle, and of course the beginning of a new cycle. So I'm just going to draw 3 oracle cards as well to finish the reading. Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid, and then we'll finish up with this full moon in Aries. Full moon in Aries. Particularly relevant to me is what happens if we just surrender and let go of those emotions. Where are we there? We're actually in the eye of creativity. We're in the eye of creativity and manifesting our future. So that is a important place to be. Okay, so 3 messages from Spirit. 3 messages from Spirit. 3 messages from Spirit. 3 messages from Spirit. Exchanging gifts, helping one another is a big theme of this reading. I love that. Collaborating with others, cooperating with others. It's the lesson that we had to learn. Number 6, not for you. Standing up for yourself, following your own individuality. This is healing at the deepest individual level. And we've got 24, time for a nap. Don't forget to stay in that unsullied, uncluttered moment where you actually do, where you're able to manifest for the future. That's again another 6, another healing. 24, breaking down to 6, and one more, between worlds. That's interesting. Between worlds, number 3. This creativity is about stepping into our connection with spirit, stepping up. Some would call it 3D to 5D. This is enlightenment. This is what we're achieving at the collective level, enlightenment. And while at the base of the pack here, serendipity, 18, breaking down to a 9. Watch for those signs, those synchronicities, the things that go, wow, that's a coincidence, or gosh, I had a lot of luck that day. Watch for those, because that's all about you manifesting, co-creating with spirit. So in your own life. So I hope you enjoyed that reading, viewers. Namaste. Thank you for tuning in.